From the AM/FM 24/7 radio network, ClearPoint Financial Solutions presents the Small Business Administration Award-winning School for Startups Radio, where we talk all things small business and entrepreneurship. Now, here's your host, the guy that believes that anyone can be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is not about creativity, risk, or passion, Jim Beach.
And welcome back to the show again. Thank you so much for being with us. Very excited to welcome back to the show Mark Gibson. Mark and I have known each other for, 5 or 6 years now. He has worked in the Small Business Administration office here in Atlanta, where he has worked as part of the communications and field operations teams. And he and I have done some great work together, covering some great businesses that have been born out of the SBA. It's just an amazing organization. But in the last 2 or 3 years, Mark has branched out and he's doing all sorts of other things. Now, he has become an entrepreneur himself. He is running I think a burgeoning inn, a hotel down in Savannah. We're going to talk about that. And he has started other businesses as well. Most importantly, though, he has just released his first book. It's called Served in Silence: The Struggle to Live Authentically. It is his story of serving during the don't ask, don't tell paradigm in the United States Armed Services. Mark, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, great. Thank you, Jim. Glad to be back.
It is good to talk to you again. It's been a while since you were on the show. So congratulations on the book. It is 5-star rated, and I think it went to #1 on new releases at Amazon, right?
Yeah, it sure did. We're super excited about that, and that was quick.
Yes. Well, congratulations on that. Tell us about the book and what is it talking about? Give us the rundown.
Sure. Well, thank you. And just so glad to be back with you and your listeners today, Jim. And over the time period that you and I have not been in communication, I was busy writing my book. And so I finished my memoir, Served in Silence, and it's a story, the struggle to live authentically, and it's my life story before, during, and after the military's don't ask, don't tell policy.
All right. So what was it like before don't ask, don't tell, when homosexuals were run out of the Army and could get dishonorably discharged? So you went into the service knowing that that was going to be a threat. That must have actually been miserable each and every day.
Yeah, when I joined, like a lot of young people, I was 16, 17 years old, 16 when I was filling out the paperwork and 17 when I finally joined. And, at the time, that's just a really early age to really be discussing those types of situations and talking about sex and sexuality. And I thought it was, as a youngster, getting to the end of the application where you're kind of signing away your civilian privileges, that the last question on the application dealt with sex and sexuality. But it was a pretty dark time, I believe, in our military's history.
All right. And were there any times where you almost got in trouble? You and I have had some personal conversations. You told me some really interesting stories about what it was like to hide everything from your other service members, friends and stuff. How bad was it? Was it, acceptable? Was it miserable? Was it living hell on earth? What was it like?
Well, I think that to make it survivable, what I did, and what I think a lot of other people do as well, is when you're in uniform, there really isn't a lot of room, at least in my mind as a professional, there wasn't a lot of room for sex or sexuality questions. Are you the most qualified? Are you the most skilled warrior in that position? Was really the primary focus. So I wasn't that concerned about it because I didn't think it was very professional to be talking about sex or sexuality in uniform. But on the other sense, and the other shoe drops is that I never really got to present my true self to the day either, because there was always something that was lurking in the shadows, and that was pretty much my sexuality.
All right. What was it like when finally Clinton changed the policy to don't ask, don't tell? Was it a huge difference? Was it night and day, or did it make an incremental change? What was that like?
Well, instantaneously, I will tell you, and I do write about that in the book. I was stationed in Springfield, Massachusetts at the time, and instantly I had a sense of hope, and I also had a sense of safety, which was quickly diminished to false hope and false safety, because the don't ask, don't tell policy was a brutally dehumanizing policy that just reinforced, it just said it in a different way, of how you cannot bring your true self to the day. So it was a bittersweet moment, I think, because it wasn't necessarily a safety net. It was a policy that didn't allow you to be who you truly were. And that was discouraging, because when you raise your hand to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, there really should not be all of the other parameters and all of the other qualifiers, in my opinion, of those particular items, such as sexuality or religion, etc. So it was a very it was a different time. It was tumultuous, because it was up and down. It's like, well, phew, I'm kind of safe for now, but oh no, wait a minute, and then the witch hunts intensified, and it began a whole other realm of witch hunts.
All right. Well, you said in your opinion, Mark, I don't think that there's any sane person left who doesn't think that was a crazy time. I could care less about an employee's sexuality or what they do when they're at home. Because you know what? I don't want you to know what I do when the door is closed, And so, it's called reciprocity. My secrets are my secrets, and your secrets are your secrets. And, you're just not supposed to talk about that stuff. You're right. And so, who the hell cares what someone's doing if you're doing your damn job, right? Isn't that all that matters, if you perform the job you were hired to do?
Well, that's just it, Jim, and that's one of my point of views. I firmly believe that the solutions to business problems, they may be hiding in your unlikely employees, because when you have an employee that is able to bring their true self to the day without having to worry about all of these qualifiers, then they bring an additional skill set or a problem solving skill set to the actual problem in front of them to present better solutions. So doing your job, and doing your job very well, should, and I would hope, to be the most professional thing to do.
Well, I think it is. I think that society has gotten past that. And now with people to get married normally, I think Vice President Biden was right on that. I'm just tired of playing the game. And so I'm glad we've gotten this far. All right, Mark, congratulations on the book. Why did you decide to tell this story? Has this story been told much before? What was so important about getting this out for you?
Well, I just thought the timing, the timing in my personal life was the right time, and I have a couple of other things that I would like to accomplish in my life, and having a very supportive partner and a very active social life, I thought that it would be the best time to get some of these things done, and one of them was finish the book, and I have been working on it for quite some time. And the reason why I chose to get it done now is because I really would like my book to be a roadmap and identify some hazards in life when you don't live an authentic life.
We are speaking with Mark Gibson, the author of the new book, Served in Silence, The Struggle to Live Authentically. Well, Mark, let's go on and talk about some other things, and we'll come back to the book in a minute. What I think is so cool about your life now is that not only are you double dipping, and I love double dipping, but you're also triple and quadruple dipping, right? So you have your pension from the armed services, right? You have a full-time job at the SBA where you help small businesses grow, and I absolutely love what you do there. And now you're an entrepreneur as well. Talk to me about having so many irons in the fire, and when do you ever sleep?
Yeah, there's never a dull moment around here, that's for sure. Yeah, I actually do. I retired from the United States Air Force, and after doing a brief stint overseas and living in Costa Rica, I came back and I started working for the U.S. Small Business Administration. And I got to tell you that you got to love what you do, and it makes it easier to burn the candles at both ends, I think, at least in my situation. Because if you didn't love what you do, then it would be very difficult to run at this pace. But the SBA is an incredible agency. It is, at the very fabric of our country that starts and grows small business. 9 out of 10 net new jobs are started within the small business sphere or the small business arena. And I just really love that type of work and just the spirit of an entrepreneur. And it kind of rubbed off on me after a couple of years. And so I started and we went out on our own and became an entrepreneur. We started our own business last year. And we have a very successful Airbnb over in Savannah. And not quite a hotel mogul at this point, but
But
we
it's
are
going to
super
be.
hosts on we are super hosts on Airbnb though, and we really enjoy that, and we block it for ourselves from time to time to get over to Savannah. Savannah is just such a great city.
I do love Savannah down in southern Georgia. Absolutely a beautiful place with the squares and just great history there. It's such a fascinating place to be. When you started writing the book, I know you found a fantastic publisher for this, someone that really aligned with your goals and principles. Tell us about the process of writing the book, how you went about it, how you got it published. This will be a valuable lesson for our other listeners who want to get a personal book out as well.
No, absolutely. And I'm really fortunate with my work that I did with the SBA and the LGBT Business Builder. I was connected to the National Chamber from Washington, D.C., and it was through the chamber and the relationships that I had there that I got a referral for a LGBT publisher, Publisher Purpose Press out of Hartford, Connecticut. And last May, I signed up and I got accepted into the Authors Academy, which is a 14-week program. It doesn't teach you really how to write. It teaches you about the publishing process and what to expect with your manuscript. A few weeks later into that program, I was so excited over what I was learning, and so I developed a podcast that I went ahead and wrote and produced, and it's currently being hosted on my website. It's Publish Your Purpose Podcast. It's an author's journey, and you can follow me through the entire writing process with tips and tricks on how to publish your own works. And I was just so excited, and I'm very proud to be associated with Publish Your Purpose Press. The entire publishing team has just been a remarkable experience.
And the launch party is this coming weekend, right, at the Fox Theater. For people who don't know what the Fox Theater is and are not part of the Atlanta theater scene, tell them about the importance of the Fox and how cool it is to have a launch party there.
Yeah, we are just so proud and very humbled to have our launch party at the Fox Theater. And when it first came as an idea, how are we going to launch this in a very big way? Then all eyes looked toward the Fox to launch the book. And so, yeah, this weekend we're launching it at 7 p.m. and we have a great program lined up for senior officials from the Small Business Administration and the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. My publisher will be there, and there'll be cake. So it's going to be a good time.
Well, I'm so jealous. My publisher never came to anything with me. As a matter of fact, Mark, I've spent 2 minutes with my publisher in the last 8 years combined. And
Wow.
it is so disheartening. When I'd see these movies where the publisher and the author would go out and have dinner and laugh, and they were best friends. And so I thought, I'm going to have a new best friend. My publisher and we're going to be friends. And then I went to his office, gave me 2 minutes, and then kicked me out. And I was devastated. So your relationship sounds so much healthier than what I have been through. It's exciting that you were able to find this publishing house that you aligned with so well. So absolutely fantastic. What do you hope to achieve with the book? If the book were 100% a success in every facet, what would that mean? What would it look like?
Well, to me, Jim, I was asked that question the other night at dinner, and I know that it sounds kind of cheesy, but I truly mean this, that if my book can help one person, and that one person can then navigate the hazards of living an inauthentic life. I use the don't ask, don't tell policy as my example, but there are other examples. So there could be house husbands that aren't living authentically, or professionals at work. And so my hope and my vision for the book is to help people navigate the hazards of not living an alignment and congruent with a authentic life.
Well, congratulations. I hope it sells really well for you. Who plays you in the movie, Mark?
That is a great question. I would vote for Neil Patrick Harris.
I love him. I think he is
Yeah.
so talented. I love his work on How I Met Your Mom, and then also with the Emmy Awards and everything, all the shows that he's hosted. I still like or what was it, Doogie Howser? Whenever
Doogie Howser, yeah.
I'm not embarrassed to say I loved that TV show as a kid. Mark, how can people get a copy of the book? Follow you online, look at your websites, all that stuff, please.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. We made it real easy. You can go ahead and get the book today. It's online at markonamazon.com. And for more information about the launch coming up for the Served in Silence launch is markdavidgibson.com/events. And also on my website, you can see I made mention to that podcast that follows the author's journey. You can follow me in the making of Served in Silence at podcast.
Well, thanks a lot, Mark, for being with us. I've never seen anyone do the markonamazon.com the way you're doing it, that it makes it really easy to find you on Amazon. It's another good search engine optimization trick. That was a really good idea that I'm going to steal and copy from you. I'm going to create Jim on Amazon as well. It's a brilliant idea.
Do it. That was a great nugget from my awesome publisher, Jen T. Grace at Publisher Press.
Anyway, fantastic idea. Mark, thanks for being with us, and I hope you'll come back soon. I hope the book does well.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Jim.
And we will be right back.